Welcome to the Caddo Convos, the podcast that explores the vibrant community of businesses thriving in Caddo Office Reimagined. We're here to shine a light on the incredible entrepreneurs and professionals who make the most of our private offices, co-working spaces, and day office rentals in the Dallas-Fort Worth suburbs. Join us as we share their stories, celebrate their successes, and dive into the benefits of working in a space that's close to home but offers so much more than working from home. Let's get started with today's conversation. Joining me today on the show is Andrea Williams of Exquisite Vacations, Inc. Andrea, thanks for coming in the studio today.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
It is so fun. So we've been talking before the show just about, the different things you do. Tell me about, from your customer's perspective, what's the value of working with you?
Oh my God. I would say my number one value is experience, my expertise. I've owned my company for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
This year, 2025, will be 21 years I've been in business.
Bravo.
I've been in the travel industry for over 32 years. I am Jamaican, as you can hear my accent.
Terrific.
I've worked in the hospitality industry all my life, 2 degrees in it, and I've traveled 6 continents. I have a passion for romance travel. I have a passion for family travel. I do have 2 beautiful girls who love to travel as well. So my niche are wedding couples. So couples who are looking for a destination wedding or a honeymoon, an anniversary trip, vow renewals. And I also serve the family market, the ones who are looking for the perfect family resorts, whether it be all-inclusive or whether it be that bucket list trip that you're trying to do with your family forever. That's where I come in. I really recommend the destinations that I personally have visited all over the world.
Yeah, because you've been there,
I've
done
been
that.
there, done that, and trial and error. So I did a trial and error for all of my clients. That way I can tell them, hey, don't pack the bags too much because there's a weight limit for this aircraft. It depends on where you're going, whether it be a safari experience or it depends on if you're going to the Seychelles, for example, and you're doing a little small flight coming back. You want to make sure that those bags are not too packed because there's a weight and balance for that. And I've worked for an airline too, so I do understand that. So my value is experience. I travel a lot to experience different resorts. I go back and see some of my favorites all the time to make sure they're still up to par with what the clients are looking for. Because think about it, every time you go on a hotel's website, how often do they refresh their content? So are you really seeing what the real truly looks like?
Right.
So I tend to go back to some of the old-time favorites just to see them, to make sure that they still look the same way they do in their actual marketing.
I noticed on your website you have over 500 destination weddings that you plan.
Yeah.
Tell me about that whole market. That's fabulous.
So 20 years ago, I was invited to do a bridal show. I had no idea what that was and went to a bridal show back in Miami where I've lived for a couple years before I moved to Texas. And I just love romance. I'd worked in an all-inclusive resort in Jamaica, and I've also worked selling with a tour operator that sells the Caribbean. So I was very familiar with all-inclusive resorts and all the top brands in the Caribbean that service the honeymooners market. So I started doing weddings, and I'm like, I really love this thing. I love seeing people coming together and getting married and having children. And now I have clients who I'm working on for their 19th anniversary, where their kids are like grown, and I feel old. But the romance market is wonderful. Like I said, I love romance. I love seeing people getting married. And, destination wedding is something that can cut the bill in half and also slice your guest list in half. And, I always say to my couples all the time, the ones you think are not going to come are the ones who are going to be there because it's also a vacation for them.
Yes.
So I love the romance market. So a lot of honeymoons and weddings. I've been doing weddings for so long. A client called me last week, Friday, as a matter of fact, and he says, I don't know if you remember me, but you did my wedding 11 years ago. And I want to do a trip to Jamaica. And I remember your company's first name. I remember your name, and I Googled you. And I said, oh, my God, thank you so much. And now I'm planning a trip for 8 couples to Jamaica for them, and they remembered me. So obviously I was doing something good.
Absolutely.
I've had a ton of clients over the years, and I'm very blessed and very grateful.
That's really interesting that the way you say that is like they come back around.
Yes.
For obviously a 10-year anniversary is a big one.
Yeah.
So those 500 turn into on with the anniversary.
And then all the guests too. So when we have the destination weddings, so on average I'll work with like about 40 different couples on a yearly basis planning their destination wedding. But also their guest comes back, and from my services they come back and they book all the trips, whether it be girlfriend getaway, birthdays, their anniversary, their wedding as well. One of my personal clients, I've done her wedding 15 years ago. I'm planning her 15-year anniversary next year. I did her 10-year anniversary. I did her sister's wedding.
Wow.
And in 2 months, I'm going to her son's 16th birthday, and I'm traveling with them.
Oh, how
They've
fun.
been like long-time clients of mine, and I have others where I say, we're doing our anniversary. So I'm like, oh my God, you have known me this long? And they're like, yeah, we have known you forever. We watch your kids grow up,
Yeah.
So, and I watch their kids grow up as well. So I'm very blessed and I'm very grateful for that.
So you're almost extended family. Plus, you
Yes.
bring something to the table. You can get them to get there with the experience and save the money and add avoid the pitfalls.
Absolutely,
with your
absolutely,
extensive travel.
absolutely. And when, for clients who I have who travel with me every year, I always exceed their expectations. But not only that, making sure they're checking those boxes, because I know where they've been over the last couple of years with me, and like, let's try this destination, let's do this, or tell them the right time to travel as well.
Yeah.
One of the best thing about my company, we do offer a payment plan, so they make a deposit. Like before coming here, I was working with a client. She was doing a 10-year anniversary in December, and she wanted to be somewhere spectacular. So we looked at, for me, I'm going to show you what you can have and give the clients options. I love options. So I gave them Thailand, I gave them the Maldives, I gave them Cape Town, I gave them Seychelles. And I said, let's look at the flight schedule. How long do you want to be in the air? Because we got to look at flight schedule to see how long you're going to be flying for,
Sure.
what really makes sense. So they decided to do Dubai and Maldives. I said, if you want to do the Maldives, we need to add Dubai to it, because you're going to have to fly there anyway and do a stopover. So that's why I was working on that earlier on today for them, to make it a bucket list anniversary for them, where they're going to go and do all the sightseeing and do all the fun stuff, and then they're going to relax in an overwater bungalow in the Maldives and an all-inclusive property. So for me, it's all about experiences. Like I tell clients, you tell me what you're looking for, and I'm going to show you what is available there. And I love giving clients options. I
Wonderful.
believe variety is the spice of life. And as a Caribbean girl, I love giving my clients options.
Wonderful. So, and you've also experienced, I imagine, some challenges. Have you ever
Absolutely.
received calls from clients when they're on location or something? Tell me a few situations where you probably saved them from any challenges. You can plan so much, but can you fix it on the fly?
So one of the things that I try to make sure I do on every single call when couples come to me and say, I want to do a destination wedding, the first thing I ask, can everyone who's traveling get a passport?
Oh, yes.
And
Good
that's very
question.
important,
Yep.
because, people don't know. Yeah, you may want your dad to walk you down the aisle, but guess what happened? He may have something going on that doesn't allow him to get a passport. So I ask the question, I tell all my clients all the time, you will never see me, you may never meet me, but I need to know what's going on in your life so I can guide you accordingly.
Right.
Partnership is very important. So I work with the hotel partners all over the world that I know I can pick up the phone and I can call instead of any emergencies my clients are experiencing. So I think partnership is what helps my brand a lot. I don't sell everything. I
Right.
don't. Even to my own country, I don't sell everything. I sell the companies and the hotels and the services that I know is going to exceed the client's expectations, because I believe people spend a lot of money. They work hard, they save their money, and I want to make sure that when they spend their money for their vacation, it's one that's well spent.
Right.
So I'm going to show you what you can have. Or I say to you, maybe you know what, you maybe can't do 3-4 nights. How about 3 to get a better experience? So I share with them flight schedules, travel dates, moving dates, stuff like that. Now back to what you did ask me, if I ever had a challenge. I think the biggest challenge that I've had in travel was during COVID.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
And I worked through COVID. And the biggest challenge I had was the couples always arrive in destination prior to their guest. And I had a couple that arrive in destination. Now, 2 days later, everybody's at a standstill. Nobody can travel.
Oh,
and
goodness.
my goal was to get them back home.
Yeah.
And also to make sure they get their money back. So, of course, with partnership with hotels, we work very closely with the hotels that we have that partnership with, and we do have many that we know firsthand, either the owners of the hotel or the management company or someone in the company, or I can pick up the phone and call on speed dial, and that what really helped me. I know
Yeah.
the owner of the hotel that they were getting married at, but also the partners of the tour operators that we work with. So we work with tour operators who ensure that the money is guaranteed to be paid over to the hotel, but if something happens, they can move money, whatever the case may be, because at the end of the day, we have to protect the client's investment. So that was the only challenge I could think of.
Oh, yeah.
I've had a challenge recently where the client was going to Dubai last month. It was a group trip, but no one told me she was flying from New Mexico to get to Miami.
Oh.
And I am on a work trip, and the group leader called me and says, well, she's not going to meet her flight. I said, what do you mean she's not going to meet her flight? Well, she's coming from New Mexico. And I'm like, well, when were you going to tell me she's flying from somewhere else? Because I could have had her join the trip, the group in Dallas,
Right.
instead of flying all the way to Miami. So while I'm on a trip working, I had to step into gear to make sure. Got her flight canceled, thank God she had travel insurance.
Yeah.
Got her book on a different flight to get her to meet the group in Dubai the following day.
Yeah.
So that comes with expertise of knowing the different gateways, know what works, and going into that mode. What would you do if it were you, but also benefits the client? And again, my clients always comes first. They pay the bills.
Yeah.
So when they call, they're my boss. I answer.
And it sounds like the best thing your clients can do for you is share as many details as possible. And I'm sure, but so, like onboarding, let's say that I came to you,
Yeah.
and I wanted to travel and I had a family and whatnot. It sounds like you have an onboarding process where you ask a lot of questions.
Yes.
Because you have to get to the bottom of, like you mentioned, the passports and whatnot. You have to ask those important questions.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say, I schedule a call with you, and we'll get back to how we contact you and whatnot. And of course, all that'll be in the show notes. But what are the first things you want to know from me?
So when a client comes to me, like for example, this morning before I came here, I got a call and she says, I was referred to you by someone who I just booked, who referred her.
Yeah.
And she says, I want to go on a trip. We've never left the country before.
Oh.
And she says, I want to go to Hawaii, but I want to leave from Atlanta to Hawaii on a cruise. So I explained to her that those cruises, you have to fly to Honolulu to board a cruise to go to Hawaii. But I said, okay, what is the experience? She says, well, it's my children. We want to take them on a cruise. She's not really familiar. She says, I have no idea. So I said, okay, here are your possibilities. And I gave her some ideas. Flying to Miami or leaving out of another cruise gateway. We look at, so I'm going to give her the options. When I get back to my office, and I said to her, how open are you to get a passport, right? Because you got to fly somewhere to board a cruise if you live in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to give her the options of here's what you can have. Here are the possibilities that you can have. Which one works best for you? Everyone has a budget at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So yes. So for me, when someone calls me, not necessarily the destination, I need to know because sometimes they don't know where they want to go. They don't know the Caribbean. They may not know where they want to go in Mexico or any destination, for example. So for me, it's what's the occasion? Mm-hmm. What are your travel dates? How flexible you are you willing to get a passport?
Okay.
And if budget is a factor, what's the highest you want to spend?
Right.
What is your limit?
Great questions.
It's not that I'm going to go over your limit. I just need to know what my seating looks like. And
Right.
I always strive to come below that budget and show them different options. I always give my clients at least 3 options.
Okay.
So I only sell 4 and 5-star hotels, but I will never send a client to somewhere I would never stay myself. So
Fair.
I'll give you my lowest that I recommend. This is the least you're going to spend to get what you're looking for the experience. And then here's something a little higher, and here's where we're going to go higher than that. So I always give clients at least 3 options. Sometimes I give them more and show them what is available out there because we have the resources to do that and very quickly. So I always give them options. I believe options they need to see what they can have.
Yeah, it's like the variety thing. It's
Yes.
spice of life.
Spice of
options
life.
are also
Yes.
part of that.
Yep. I had a client who recently reached out to me. She says, I traveled with you a couple of years ago, and we're doing our families. My mom's 70th birthday. We want to go somewhere. We don't know where we want to go. I said, okay, tell me where you have been. So those are off the radar. I said, okay, here are your options. And I was doing pricing like crazy because you want me to price every single scenario. I don't mind doing that. All I ask for, book the trip with me. I can spit out all the information for you, flight schedules, transportation, hotel room categories, all of that, all in a package. So you have everything sent to you in email, and it comes with your flights, your transportation, your room category, your deposit, your final payment, travel insurance, payment link, everything like that. And I had to do it for 3 different countries and 7 different families configuration.
Okay.
2 adults, 1 adult, 2 adults, different kids' ages, stuff like that. But at least they had the information to make the accurate decision for their family. And it was a wonderful destination. So I'm very, very happy for them.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because ultimately, I mean, when you're spending your money, you want to travel, you want to come back with memories, not challenges.
Correct.
Especially on the front end, too.
Correct. So for me, it's not only booking the trip. I also alert the hotel to let them be aware. Here are my clients. They're coming. You get a booking number. You don't know who the clients are. But I also go one step ahead and send a rooming list to the hotel and say, hey, these are my clients. They're coming. Here are their bedding requests. They'll be arriving at this particular time. If you can accommodate them or 2 rooms out of the group to get their rooms, because we have babies. So at least the hotel is aware ahead of schedule who's coming, what time they're arriving. any special requests that they have, any dietary restriction they have. If it's a birthday that they're doing, can we get a cake in the room? What kind of amenities that we can offer? And if they don't, sometimes I purchase the amenities for my client. I have a client going to Jamaica in March, and they wanted a particular hotel, wasn't available. I gave a recommendation. I said, okay, I know what kind of client they are. You're not going to the same level of resort that you're accustomed to, but I'm going to offer to you a private transportation instead of shared with a bunch of persons. That way you get off the plane, it's just going to be you and your family on this transportation.
Wonderful.
I have my driver there. I said, I need the bus to be decorated with balloons with their names on it, so it's a special touch when they get to the destination. And I do this also for all the Caribbean islands and Mexico as well.
Fine.
And then when they get to the hotel, the sales manager is a very good friend. I send her a link. These are Four Seasons clients. You're not a Four Seasons resort, but they're looking for food and service. So please ensure that, so I'm going one above, letting sales know, hey, I'm sending you these clients. And then she sends me the menu, and I'm getting the daughter a little birthday cake. So then together have a birthday group dinner. So we make it specialized. And for me, it's about memories. I want for them to have a great experience. They don't know how to do it, and that's where we come in with our expertise as travel advisors. So I try to go above and beyond for clients.
Yeah.
But I'm also make it realistic too, right? I
Right.
set expectations for all clients because they don't know they're going to a foreign country, and sometimes persons expect certain things. And I said, listen, you're going to someone's country. Things are a little different. People move a little slower than usual.
Right.
It's not going to be like a microwave. So when you get to the destination, this is what you're expecting to have. So I always set that expectations for clients of what to expect on a trip.
Right.
Have clients book a trip with me. They travel with me every year, and this was their anniversary. 5-year anniversary was going to the Maldives. After we booked the trip and everything, she says, how long is the flight? I said, at this point, it doesn't matter. You're leaving next week. It's 14 hours. You're going to be fine. Just when you get on the flight, have a glass of champagne or two and go to sleep.
Yeah.
It'll become easier because then she's thinking about how long this flight's going to be. So for us, it's about service. It's about the experience. I don't sell based on budget. I sell on experience. You tell me what you're looking for. We'll find something within the budget for you.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
What is the best way to reach you?
I love persons contacting me through my contact form, because then that way they go to my website, go to the contact us, or, the new generation is used to texting. So I tell them, send me a text message to my phone number. It's 305-892-3496. I do have a number for Texas, which is 945-400-5984. And when someone texts me, hey, I want to book a trip, the next thing I'll do, I'll reach out to them and send them my contact form. I'll pick up the phone, I'll call them to see what experience they like to plan, and then we have a discussion, and then we go from there. Or they can also schedule an appointment with me using my Calendly, and all of the stuff are on my contact form. So many ways to contact me, whether it be WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, email, cell phone, it doesn't matter. I'm always reachable.
Excellent. We'll make sure all that's in the show notes. So when you're listening to the show or wherever you're picking it up, just scroll down and find your best way.
Absolutely.
What's your favorite destination?
Oh my God, I get asked that all the time. I'm going to say I'm an island girl. And it's not Jamaica, even though I'm from there. My favorite destination is actually Dubai. And I'm going to tell you why. I love architecture. I love seeing the designs and the inspirations that they do and they create. So that's my favorite. Now I have a 1.5 favorite. I love Paris.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I went last November. I had the most fantastic time ever, and I love that destination too. I never knew I'd fall in love, but I fell in love with Paris.
Yeah. And I'm sure you'll be going back.
I will be going back before summer. I'm going to bring my daughter before she's off to college and do some shopping. But Paris have a lot. I really enjoyed my time there. Spent a week there, just immersing myself in the destination. So I do love that. Yes.
Excellent. Well, that's wonderful. Well, I really appreciate you coming on the show today and just sharing your experience and knowledge and your passion for travel.
Thank you.
And so we can all join you and obviously all of her information is in the show notes. So scroll down and contact her and get started.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us today on the Caddo Convos podcast. A huge shout out to our incredible network of members for making our community vibrant and supportive. If you're looking to boost your productivity and reduce the isolation of working from home, consider joining us at Caddo Office Reimagine. Our spaces are designed to meet your evolving needs, support remote work, and foster a sense of community that's hard to find at home. Whether you're a startup aiming for growth, a freelancer seeking a professional setting, or a company looking to optimize resources, Caddo offers a perfect blend of flexibility and innovation. By joining us, you'll be a part of a dynamic business ecosystem that helps you thrive. For more information, visit caddooffices.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Caddo Convos.